Hi everyone, my name's Louise and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I run the Life with Scoliosis blog where I blog about my life and experiences with scoliosis, post my spinal fusion surgery which I had 11 years ago now. As I'm now 11 years post-surgery, I've had plenty of time to come to terms with my condition, to find ways to cope, and also I've learned to be kinder to myself as well. I wanted to make this video mainly to help those that may have recently been diagnosed with scoliosis or maybe facing surgery, just to help with coping and try to help people not make the same mistakes that I made when I was first diagnosed and in the first few years of living with my scoliosis. So I'm going to run through my 7 mistakes I made when I was first diagnosed with scoliosis. The first mistake I made when I was first diagnosed with scoliosis was isolating myself. When I was first diagnosed, I didn't tell anybody about my scoliosis for a really long time, not even my closest friends or partner at the time. I kept it to myself, mainly because at 14, I didn't want to be different to anybody else. I felt ashamed, I didn't like how I looked, so I covered up my back quite a lot in baggy clothes. I kept everything to myself, and I used to spend a lot of nights in my room on my own, upset about the scoliosis. Now looking back, I realise this is literally the worst thing I think I could have done. It's so important, if you've recently been diagnosed with scoliosis, to talk to others in the same position. I think now it's a lot easier because we have so much connectivity, we have social media, it's easier to find people with the scoliosis, whereas when I was diagnosed, it wasn't as easy. I felt very alone. I felt like I was the only person out there with the condition. It wasn't until I was in my early 20s that I finally started to accept my condition, and I joined a scoliosis forum, and that I think was the best thing I ever did, because I met some amazing people on that forum. I made some friends. I basically met so many people with the same condition who had the same feelings as me, and it helped me so much. So my one piece of advice would be to talk to other people, join forums, join Facebook groups. There's a massive community on Instagram. There are lots of YouTube videos like this from people with the condition. And just know that you are so not alone, and isolating yourself is the worst thing you can do. The second mistake I made when I was first diagnosed with scoliosis was feeling ashamed. When I was first diagnosed with scoliosis, I truly hated my back. I hated the way it looked, I hated the way it felt, I hated the fact that I was different from my friends, from other people. I used to keep myself as covered up as I could. I would avoid wearing certain clothes, I would avoid doing certain activities because of my scoliosis. Looking back now, I am quite annoyed at myself that I did that. I feel like I missed out on quite a lot of activities and opportunities because I let my back stop me, which I shouldn't have done. What I would say is, if you have scoliosis, please don't feel ashamed. Your back and your body is amazing. You should be proud of your scoliosis. You should be proud of your back and the way it looks, and show it off with pride. Now I am not ashamed anymore, and this is why I now have a blog and a YouTube channel and an Instagram where I try to raise awareness for scoliosis, and I regularly show off pictures of my back and my scar. I don't let it stop me from wearing what I want anymore or doing what I want to do. It's so important. You only get one life, and you shouldn't let your scoliosis stop you from doing anything or wearing anything that you want to. The third mistake I made when I was first diagnosed with scoliosis was not talking to others. So this is kind of linked to the first point where I was talking about not isolating myself. But when I was first diagnosed, I kept my scoliosis very much to myself. I really wanted to tell people, but I couldn't bring myself to. I don't know whether it was because if I did tell my friends, that it would become more real and then I would have to deal with it. It's almost like I buried my head in the sand. I didn't want to talk about it. If I didn't talk about it, it wasn't happening. I think that's just how I dealt with it. Scoliosis is fairly common, so there are a lot of people in the same situation and you can help each other. There are so many scoliosis groups out there, like I said before, on Facebook. If you search for scoliosis related hashtags on Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest even, there are so many resources and people that can help that you can talk to. So yeah, my advice is don't suffer in silence like I did. Join a scoliosis community online, find people in the same boat and talk. The fourth mistake I made when I was first diagnosed with scoliosis is underestimating the impact on my mental health. I've spoken about this topic before. I have another video where I talk all about the impact scoliosis has had on my mental health. Having scoliosis is a massive thing to go through, both physically and mentally, especially if you have to go through scoliosis surgery as well, which is a massive toll on the body. When I was first diagnosed with scoliosis, there was much less awareness around mental health and looking after your mental health. Obviously now there is a lot more awareness out there about mental health and how to protect your mental health. So it's made me realise, looking back, what impact scoliosis, the diagnosis at 14, and going through the surgery has had on me mentally. It's only now that I've started to realise that it has affected me quite a bit, and I'm now starting to have treatment for the mental health side of things, but for many years that was neglected because I didn't realise how much it was impacting me. It's often the case with doctors and scoliosis surgeons that, you know, there's an idea that the scoliosis surgery will fix the issue or correct the issue, but then the mental health side of things is often neglected in my experience. So I think if you've recently been diagnosed with scoliosis or you're facing the surgery, please don't be afraid to ask for help, ask for some counselling, some support. It really will make a difference. The fifth mistake I made when I was first diagnosed with scoliosis is pretending that it wasn't happening. So I've already touched upon this, but for a very long time after I was first diagnosed, I basically buried my head in the sand and pretended that it wasn't happening. I just didn't want to talk about it, I didn't want to know. And I think at the time it was a coping mechanism, but looking back, I don't think it was healthy. It's only since I have started to accept my scoliosis and talk about my scoliosis and be proud of my scoliosis that I feel much better in myself, physically and mentally as well. My advice would be to not bury your head in the sand and pretend it's not happening. You need to accept that you have scoliosis if you have scoliosis, and there are many ways that you can deal with the condition and cope with the condition which are a lot healthier than pretending that it's not happening like I did. The sixth mistake I made when first diagnosed with scoliosis was believing that my scoliosis could be cured. So in the years following my diagnosis, I was terrified of the surgery. I was desperate to avoid it, so I did quite a bit of research online and found some sites that claimed they could cure my scoliosis, obviously for a lot of money. But it gave me hope, and I was very excited about this, and I remember feeling like a huge relief, like I won't have to have the surgery, there are other options out there. And I took this to my surgeon at the time, who basically told me that it's just not possible, especially, you know, for somebody in my position. I had very severe scoliosis. There is no cure apart from surgery, and even that is not a cure. I still have scoliosis now. My spine isn't 100% straight following surgery. So I guess the point of this point is not to believe some of the things that you read online that claim that scoliosis can be cured. It can be managed through various methods, but severe scoliosis like mine, there's no way of curing it unless you have surgery. The seventh and final mistake I made when I was first diagnosed with scoliosis is avoiding exercise. When I was first diagnosed with scoliosis, I thought that exercise would make my back worse, would make my pain worse, so I wrongly avoided most exercise for quite some time, many years following my diagnosis. This put my health at risk, and I ended up with more back pain as a result of being inactive. What I didn't realise when I was first diagnosed is that exercise is crucial for people with scoliosis. It's so important to keep fit, to keep strong, to keep your back muscles and your core muscles as strong as possible. This will help to reduce pain, it'll help to keep you mobile, and it's just so important. It also has a massive impact on mental health as well. So avoiding exercise is the worst thing you can do if you have scoliosis. Exercise is crucial. Obviously, every case of scoliosis is different. Some people may find it difficult to do some exercises. The most important thing you can do is probably go and see a doctor, a physio, who can recommend the best exercises for your specific situation. Lower impact exercises are probably preferable, but I do pretty much whatever I want. Running, swimming, cycling, Pilates, yoga, exercise classes, pretty much anything really, hiking as well. I like to be as active as I can. If you've got scoliosis, it's so important to keep your muscles strong. I would recommend exercises like Pilates, especially focusing on the core muscles to reduce pain and problems further down the line. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, or you can relate, please let me know in the comments below, and please feel free to subscribe to my channel for regular videos all about scoliosis and my life with scoliosis. Also feel free to follow me on Instagram or check out my blog at lifewithscoliosis.com. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.